Hi, Matthew Holmes here from iconpractice Practice Management Software. What we're looking at today in this last video of our sequence of 4, we're actually talking about how you can go about reactivating your patients by keeping yourself top of mind from a brand point of view within that patient's thought processes. So this video was one that we created a couple of years ago now, but is still very relevant today. So I hope you find it useful. Hi, Matthew Holmes here from Clear Health Media. This is the last video in our 5-part series where we've been talking about the sales funnel and the different steps that you need to be implementing within your practice. And in this one, we're going to be talking about reactivation. And reactivation is something which unfortunately a lot of practices really neglect, and it's a real shame because it's much easier to get a patient that has already done business with you to take their step to do business with you again than it is to actually go ahead and get somebody from a marketing campaign. So I would really encourage you to do that. And some practices are sitting on databases of thousands, if not tens of thousands of patients that they've seen over their years. And these patients are just slowly trickling away and they're just missing out on all this lost revenue, which could so easily be rectified. So there's 2 main strategies that I would recommend that you implement. The first of which is a newsletter. So you really need to be doing some sort of newsletter out to your patient database. Now, I get some people who get very anxious about sending these too often to their patients. They think they're going to annoy them. Now, I would say to you that that's really not the case. Okay, most of the time you can't really overdo this as long as you're not sending them sort of weekly. You could probably certainly do them fortnightly if you really wanted, but monthly is usually where we sort of tend to recommend our clients do it. Some people say they want to do it 3 monthly because they feel like they're pestering people too much if it's monthly, but I would say that's definitely not the case. I think if you do it 3 monthly, then it's too long between touch points, and it's longer for people to forget you, etc. Whereas if you're sending them useful, informative content on a monthly basis, then you're going to be making sure that your practice stays front of mind for these people. Now, about the content for this newsletter, this needs to be stuff that is going to be interesting to the person. Okay, don't just send out blah information about your practice, etc. By all means, tell them about new doctors that you've got or new machines that you've got that can do new and wonderful treatments, etc. All sorts of different things that you can include, but make sure there's also some content in there which is of interest to them. So things that are going to help them train better, things that are going to help them eat better, things that are going to improve their life and their wellness and the life of their family and friends, etc. Stuff which is delivering value to them. Okay, so make sure that's in there. You can send these out by post if you need to. The problem is that sending them out by post, particularly here in Australia, can be quite expensive. You know, it's $1 a stamp here, and then you've got the cost of photocopying and the time for your staff to actually be folding it up, putting it in the envelopes, labeling the envelopes, taking them to the post office, etc. And all of that can start to get very expensive. The upside of that is that by actually sending mail out to people get less mail than they used to. A lot more of it's email these days. And so a hard copy newsletter is more likely to have impact in front of people. Whereas an email newsletter is much less expensive to deliver, it's much quicker to deliver, and so on. It's much less friction from that point of view, but the downside is that the open rates aren't as good and the impact factor isn't as good as perhaps the actual hard copy letter with the person. But if you're sort of struggling either way, I would go for email to start with. Most of our practices use email and they tend to get very good open rates, sort of 40% plus sometimes, which is just saying that people are engaging with their content. Their click-through rates are also well above average, and so that can work very well. The other aspect that I would recommend that you need to be doing is you need to be looking at things like offers that you are going to send out to your patient database. So reactivation offers. So at the time of filming this video, it's not that long since New Year's has passed, and so I would have, if I was going to be marketing my practice, I would be sending out emails to my patient database that said, hey, everyone's starting off New Year's resolutions. How about you make the resolution to get healthy in 2019 or 2020 or whenever it is that you're watching this video? And you know, we've got some free screenings, come along and deal with those niggly pains, etc., that you've been putting up with for too long. Okay, send that out to everybody, follow it up in a day or two with another email, just reiterating the offer, and then maybe another email perhaps 4 days later, and that'll be maximizing the conversions that you're going to get. And people, you know, you're going to get patients out of that, because there will be people who are actually thinking about taking action about some sort of niggling pain that they've had for ages. They may be thinking, oh, I must get in touch with a practitioner for that. Who are those people I saw previously? These are the guys. I'm going to give them a call. I'm going to book in an appointment with them, and we can get some treatment happening. Similarly, you can tie this in with national events. So the Australian Tennis Open is on here as well at the minute. So you could send out an offer for, you know, attention all tennis players in the email subject line. And in that you could say, look, you know, we see a lot of tennis injuries in our practice. What we'd like to do is we'd like to offer you a free screening where you can come along and you can deal with that niggly tennis pain that you've been having for ages. Or if you know a friend who's suffering from this, send them this email. We'll be more than happy to help them out as well. Okay, so this is sort of the final step in the funnel, where basically people have gone through from the marketing through in-clinic and the education processes that you have. They may have dropped out of care, or they may have been discharged, and then what you're doing is you're keeping in touch with them, you're sending them relevant offers, you're sending them relevant information, and as a consequence of that, they're more likely to then reactivate back into your patients, into your practice, and generate more patients in your practice. So if you'd like some help getting these types of systems set up within your practice, we have a marketing package which deals with the front-end marketing, helps you deal with your in-clinic education, will help you deal with fails and discharges, and will also help you with sending targeted newsletters and offers. So if you would like some help with this, click the button below, book a strategy session with me. I'll run through the specifics of the program, how this might help you out. Otherwise, I hope you found this information useful. If you've got any questions at all and would like a little bit more information, just send me an email. My email address is drmatt@clearhealthmedia.com. I'd be more than happy to talk to you and just give you some feedback, etc., and get things working for you. Thanks again for your time, and I hope to speak to you soon.